Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my class, Critical Written English. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, ma ba'da. Qala rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri, wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'd. Okay, everybody, let's start the class by reciting Basmalah and Surah Al-Duha together. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم. Well, everybody, uh, today we are going to continue our previous discussion. Last week we have discussed about tones in writing. We have acknowledged 13 different tones in writing, like formal, informal, tense, and so on. And today we are going to continue our discussion into how to synthesize various sources. Yeah, because in critical reading and critical thinking, we will read various sources. Yeah, we will read many articles, many sources. Then we have to be able to synthesize it. Then what is synthesizing? Uh, synthesizing in academic writing, synthesizing is merging the various perspectives you have found while researching your topic. Yeah? So the key words is merging or unifying, yeah, the various perspectives you have found while researching your topic. Yeah? Your job as a writer is to make it clear to the reader how the ideas or research of various authors are connected, including discussing the similarities and differences between the ideas. So, not only merging, but you need to make sure that the, the sources you have found, you have searched, is connected each other, and also you are able to discuss the similarities and also the differences among the ideas. Uh, okay, and then what does a well-synthesized paragraph look like? Yeah. Okay, let's start from the assignment question. Yeah, I have already cited this example. Should Australia invest in a high-speed rail network between Sydney and Melbourne? From this question, a student will need to find any sources about this topic. Yeah, about Australia contact the investment in high-speed rail network and so on. So the paragraph will be like this one. Yeah? Pickard, 2015, argues that a high-speed rail network is still too expensive for a population as small as Australia. In addition, the amount of environmental damage caused by the construction would be extremely high during the estimated 20 years it would take to link Sydney and Melbourne. Lee, 2019, further added that in order to recoup the cost of construction and maintenance, ticket prices for the high-speed train would be prohibitively high for most travelers. Therefore, most of the population is unlikely to choose the high-speed rail option when airfares are considerably lower. On the other hand, so from the first two sentences, we can conclude that the writer posed the prose ideas from this topic. Then the later sentences shows that the writer puts several ideas about the contrast ideas. Yeah. So we have on the other hand, and so on and so forth. So in critical writing, synthesizing is very important to put the right ideas into the right place. So in this case, the writers put what is it? Agree, agreed ideas in the beginning of the paragraph and disagreed in the end of the paragraph. Okay, let's continue. Now this one, we have the several reporting of like artists that, furthest that, on the other hand, and so on and so forth. And then how do I synthesize effectively? Now this is several tips. Yeah, ask yourself the following question when trying to synthesize the ideas of various scholars into your writing. Please check each question to check the answer. Yeah. How are my sources connected to each other? Ideas can be connected in different ways, such as areas in which authors agree or disagree. Like in the previous example, there are several ideas about agreement and also disagreement against the topic. And then change in perspective on the topic that have occurred over time. For example, perspective from 2010 compared with perspective from 2020. Yeah? So you have a chronological order there. So in this case, the writer puts perspective from the starting point in 2010 until the 2020. And then the ideas that have developed as a result of further research into the topic. So uh, what is it? Research is always what you keep doing. Many researchers keep doing it, so the result will be growing and growing, and it's a very dynamic, and the result will be seen as connected or not from the change in the result of the research. This is in the example below, the four differences author who's in the paragraph above have been grouped into either agreeing or disagreeing with the thesis. The first one is agreeing, and then the last one is disagreeing. So the writer puts the agreeing ideas into the beginning of the paragraph, and then the disagreeing into the last part of the paragraph. So and then, have I organized my sources vertically in my writing? Yeah. In the above example, Pickett and Libels believe that high fit rail is not a good solution. The writer uses specific reporting verbs and transition signal to group ideas that are similar and to separate those are different. First, the writer starts with the disagreement side of the argument by stating Pickett's perspective using the reporting verb argue. Argue has negative what is it connotation, means against the idea. And then Lee furthest add means that Lee support Peter's idea. Then while in the middle of the paragraph, the writer uses the transition signal. On the other hand, means that uh, he or she has different ideas about against the previous ideas. Ah, in single paragraph, the writer usually we can put agreeing ideas in the beginning and then put the transition signal to show contrast and then put the disagreeing in the end. Or when we have multiple paragraphs, we can put the agreeing ideas in the single paragraph and then the disagreeing one into different paragraph. Uh, yeah, I think that's my what is it? That's my explanation, short explanation about synthesizing. Yeah, it's very challenging because um, the step is not synthesizing itself. Yeah? The steps start from searching the references, searching the scholar ideas, and then read it critically. After that, we can synthesize what we have read into the draft of writing, then revise it, and then revise again, refine again before publishing the whole ideas into what is it into the good structure critical written piece. Yeah. So synthesizing can be done after we have collected the ideas, the references, the various sources, the valid sources before going further into synthesizing the process. Well, I think that's all my brief explanation this morning or this afternoon about how to synthesize various sources. You can look up the more completed sources in my class on Google Classroom. Uh, the ideas, the PowerPoint, and also the reporting, the list of reporting verb we can use to express our ideas, and also transition signal we can use to unify the writing into a better one. Thanks for your attention. Don't forget to check your class, yeah, at any time. Let's close the class by praying Alhamdulillah kafatul majlis together. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.